Call now for the 2010 Steiner Tractor Parts Catalog, featuring the largest selection of new aftermarket parts for your antique or classic tractor.
On this Tractor Fanatic webisode, we'll finish our visit to Antique Power Days in Salem, Illinois, and we'll learn how tractors were once used to power everything from threshers to shingle makers.
And there's nothing like the smell of cedar. Right. Okay, when you come to a show like Antique Power Days, you see all kinds of stuff. Not just tractors, but tractors being used in different ways. And we've got one hooked up to a thresher here, don't we?
Yes.
So we're going to run through the process real quick of how this actually works.
Okay.
And with me is Gene. Gene is the guy who knows all about this stuff, right? And he's got a couple of helpers back here too.
Well, yes, we have helpers. Usually it requires a crew really to run these.
Something like this. And
Yes.
this is very typical of what they would have done 70 years ago.
Yes,
or
it
like
is.
maybe 80 years ago, yeah.
The last time I ever seen them thrash was about 1950.
Okay.
Out on a farm.
Okay. So it's an old practice that's
It's
not
an old
used today
practice.
anymore. Right.
Yes.
Okay, why don't you, I know you got to do some stuff like start the tractor. So why don't you show us
go around and see if I can get this thing to start.
Okay, because this is actually what they had to do back then, right?
Yes, they had to do
It wasn't
this
just turn a key and turn on the air conditioning and start harvesting.
We have no starter.
Right? Okay, you are the starter.
We have to crank it, yes. We do not have a starter.
Well, let's go start it.
Okay, we'll try. This one was made in 26.
This is a 26, okay.
1926, 1530 McCormick.
McCormick gearing, all right.
I'll get on it, put the belt pulley in gear,
okay,
and we'll start the machine.
Okay, good.
The tractor is used as a power unit more than anything.
Right.
To deliver power to the machine by belt. Okay, get it running, the fella on the wagon has to hit the bundles onto the feeder, which takes it into the machine.
Okay.
You have a cylinder very similar to your new combines and that. Maybe not quite as sophisticated.
Inside here?
Yes, it is. Right in behind these pulleys. Silver, a little big around. It runs the wheat through it, causes the heads to shatter out, goes back into a separating area. The part that's doing the shaking, that shakes the wheat out of the straw. The straw proceeds back and is blown out onto the ground, back there. The wheat comes down, goes across, up that elevator on the other side, and is put into a wagon. That is the basics of it. It's basically a stationary combine.
Right.
That's what a thrash machine basically is.
With the engine 30 feet away.
Yes, with the engine 30 feet away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Don't rely on standard insurance for your collector vehicles and collectibles. American Collectors Insurance provides affordable, agreed valued coverage for collectible cars, trucks, and motorcycles, antique farm tractors, and for die-cast and automobilia collections. Get a fast and free quote at AmericanCollectors.com today.
At a show like this, you never know what you'll see next, in part because it has become popular to find and restore almost any piece of machinery. This high-volume shingle maker is a good example.
I'm always amazed at the things that we see at some of these shows, and I have to admit I've not seen a shingle maker before, or a shingle mill. So that's what we've got here, right?
Yes, this is a late 1800s device made specifically for making shake shingles like this one, which would have been used to roof a house.
Right.
It would have been for asphalt shingles and contemporaneous with early metal roofs, but this is what you would have found on barns and houses around here.
And this is a little different setup than, you know, just going to Lowe's and buying stuff.
Oh yeah, this
yeah?
is a little bit more labor
I
intensive.
don't remember seeing this in the parking lot out there.
No,
At
no.
Shingle Days at Lowe's.
Not Shingle Days at Lowe's.
Yeah.
This is the sort of device which, this would be a commercial unit. This isn't the mom and pop shingle
Right.
shack or anything. This would be something that would be in production for making shingles to sell commercially. And it's massive, it has a high rate of volume, and we don't run it that fast because we're not making shingles on a production level.
You're just showing
Just
people.
wanting to show how it would be done.
Yeah.
This one, like I said, is made in the late 1800s. Prior to that, shingles would have been split out by hand with a froe.
So how does this work?
The tractor over there, it's a 1936A, provides the power through a flat belt, and that belt is twisted to a shaft, a vertical shaft, so we are changing the direction of the power. There's a saw blade right up here, and it's a specially cut saw blade with hardened teeth, and will cut the shingles. The table, which this block of wood is resting on right here, will advance, take the block, the shingle will be cut, and then of course it drops down below. The table tilts back and forth, and it allows you to cut the shingles on a taper, and like this shingle right here, the purpose of that is whenever they're stacked on a roof that you have a fairly flush fit.
Yeah.
Keeps the rain from being blown up underneath of it, and they lay relatively flat.
Yep.
If you had squared off shingles, you'll end up with shingles with a gap like that, and then rain and stuff gets blown up underneath.
Absolutely.
That's the whole purpose.
So we're getting ready to start this thing. Now this looks somewhat dangerous. Is it?
It's not OSHA approved for these days.
Yeah?
That's for sure. Yeah. It takes a special touch to run this because you can advance it too quickly and pieces go where
flying.
you don't want them to go.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The tractor's a 1936 John Deere Model A. It's a hand start, and what Dave's doing right now is he's going on either side and opening 2 petcocks, which will relieve the compression on the cylinders and make it easier to turn it over by hand. There he goes. There he goes.
Is this a full throttle operation for the A?
He'll wind it up pretty good.
Yeah.
The A has adequate horsepower, but if I run the block quickly, it'll load the tractor down. It'll load the tractor down pretty good. He'll get her speed sped up so it gets the flop out of the belt. Now, whenever I pull this lever, there's a pulley down here, and it'll just tighten that belt, which runs this shaft, and this shaft is totally independent from the saw arbor.
Okay.
All of this stuff over here is purely for advancing the block, taking it back, dropping it, tilting it.
Okay.
And this, it puts the power to that.
All right.
We're going a lot slower than you normally would.
Right.
Now it'll come back and it'll drop. If I speed this up, I mean I can put a lot of work on this tractor here.
Yeah.
Hear the tractor engine lug down? There's a clamp on either side that actually grabs the block. Now when it comes back, you'll watch these clamps will actually spread apart and it'll drop the block. Try and go back nice and slow. There.
Oh yeah, it drops it.
Now it'll come back, and the clamps will start to go back together. The tilting has allowed it just to change the pitch of the block.
Right, right. And there's nothing like the smell of cedar.
Because it's a wood which is weather resistant. Right. If you were to use white oak or pine or things like that, it's going to rot pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kelley, I really appreciate you showing us that.
Okay, no problem.
Very cool. It's not something you see every day.
No, it's not.
In our next webisode, we'll visit the White River Valley Antique Show in Elnora, Indiana. That's where we found a really nice Massey 65 and a rare orange JD 320.